I didn't see Copper yesterday. I didn't notice like you put them.
All the cats. Yeah. I'm still not quite sure of the reason.
The one with the flower.
The one with the flower, yeah. Oh, not here today.
Do we need any help with anything, Jen? Welcome back to day 2 of Ultimate Freediving Challenge competition. Just had the start their dive. Starter is basically just a practice so the judges and the safeties can get warmed up. I think it's Dennis is doing the starter for us today. The first OT is at 11, which will be Ernaldo. So yeah, again we're at Changi Beach Club today in the northeast corner of Singapore. Looking out over Johor Straits. So Dennis is up there. Nice clean dive for the starter. Yeah, so we're here in Changi Beach Club near the border with Malaysia and looking out over Pulau Ubin. It's a bit cloudy today still, which is kind of nice for the divers, not too hot yet. Hopefully the pool's still relatively cool after a week of a lot of rain. We have a lot of the same divers from yesterday joining us again today. Starting list is Ernaldo, and then at 11, and then Xingqiang at 11:09, Tracy at 11:18, and then Pat's diving at 11:27, Ernie Wong at 11:36. Ernie did not dive yesterday, so it's just the one dive for him this weekend today. And then Clover is diving at 45. She also did not dive yesterday, so just the one dive. Rodin is back again today at 11:54. Soham is back again at 12:03. I think hoping for another Indian national record. National record is set at 68 meters currently, and I think his PB is at around 65, so kind of within touching distance of the national record, so see if we can get that today. And then Rainey is back again at 12:12, and then our very own Tom Wei, so part-time commentator, and today going to be doing some bifins at 12:21. How are you feeling about that?
Yeah, I think doing bifins might be a bit of an exaggeration, but I'll be doing my best in a pair of bifins for sure.
Doing a static while finning.
Yeah, trying to make it feel like a static. I know everyone says they don't like static because it doesn't feel like dynamic or something else. There's no distractions, but yeah, I feel the opposite.
Yeah. Okay. And then Dmitri rounds it out today at 12:30 doing dynamic bifins. He's going to be using my bifins, so that's the starting list. What are you hoping for your dive since you're here? Got you in the hot seat.
I've kind of been training. About 3 months ago, I decided I was going to make a bit of a go of dynamic B training, and did a couple of weeks, and then kind of got busy with other stuff and just stopped for a month, and then got excited again and did another week, and so I haven't really had continuous training. But I mean, my PB's only 125. I've got quite badly damaged legs. I can now do 8 squats.
Okay.
Whereas before I couldn't do any. So
infinite improvement.
An infinite improvement. I've got 8 squats worth of leg power.
Okay. Well, at least
so I'll try and beat my PB, my comp PB of 125.
At least I think you have so much experience with hypoxia. You very much know what it feels like to get there.
I think I'm alright on I've never experienced hypoxia on a dynamic dive. I would like to think I can get to 150, but lactic is such a killer for me, and my legs just basically stop working at some point. So we'll see. I'm going to hyperventilate like a crazy person before
Are you allowed to say that on camera for dynamics?
Don't do this at home.
Don't do this at home.
No, this definitely isn't a strategy that will get anyone except for maybe me further. I have a theory that by hyperventilating, I'll delay the onset of my lactic.
Okay. How does that work?
Same chemical, right? It's lactic acid is actually lactate, which is kind of useful, plus an H plus ion, and carbon dioxide is actually, there's no such thing as carbonic acid. It's CO2 plus H plus, so they're both actually the same acid. So by hyperventilating, I start with less H plus, less CO2, and less H plus in my blood, and that means that my body's a bit more ready to buffer lactic as it starts to build.
Right, so you start more alkaline.
I've got no idea whether this is truth or not.
Okay.
It seems to be working for me though.
Okay. And just for the benefit of any divers watching who might want to try this at home, I would advise against it personally, and most training manuals would. Tom is a very experienced breath holder. The disadvantages of this sort of technique would be that with the bore effect, if you hyperventilate, there is less oxygen available for your muscles. So while you might feel comfortable, because you're not getting that CO2 buildup, the oxygen that's in your blood isn't able to be delivered to your brain or your muscles. It just stays bound to the hemoglobin.
Yeah, that's absolutely true.
So generally, for dynamic performances, you'll see people ventilating normally or even underventilating, so that the oxygen leaves their blood easier. yeah, there are trade-offs for that. Obviously, people feel less relaxed, and this lactic angle. I mean, if it's your limiting factor, then maybe that's.
Yeah, it's just an experiment, to be honest. We'll see.
Okay.
See what happens.
All right.
Otherwise, I'm going to have to really go to the gym for 6 months and try and put some muscle where there isn't any at the moment.
Yep. What else? Why else didn't you hyperventilate? Yeah, because you don't notice that you're going to black out is another reason. We strongly disencourage people to hyperventilate on dynamic dives normally. Yeah, but as I say, Tom does a huge amount of statics and is very familiar with the sensations of a breath hold and hypoxia. So I think we're approaching the, yeah, we're already in the 2-minute countdown for Ernaldo's dive. He's doing dynamic bifins today. Yesterday he did dynamic of 150. So it's well below his PB and national record of 190. But as we mentioned yesterday, he's recovering from back surgery. I forget, like a month ago now, maybe, or 2 months ago. And so he's only done a couple of pool sessions since that. So yeah, not really sure what to expect today. His PB here is 172 in bifins. I think he'd be pretty happy with anything around like the 150 mark, similar to yesterday.
Yeah, I mean, he stopped at 150 yesterday. He was pretty happy with that. I think he's just looking to get some compensations back and get the groove back, and then start training for 2024.
Yeah, okay, I guess setting a baseline and seeing where he is after the break that he took. I don't know which is, do you know what's his preferred discipline? I know he's longer with monofin, but does he prefer it?
No, I actually think he was a bifins only diver until he moved to Singapore, and then he took to monofin really quickly and started matching and then surpassing his bifin distances like within a couple of months. It was actually pretty amazing.
Yeah.
Takes to technique very quickly, I think.
Yeah. I like Ernaldo's vibe at competitions. He never seems stressed. He just looks like he's turned up for a training session. Yeah. Some people get very calm and quiet, and some people are obviously nervous, and Ernaldo's sort of neither. He just looks like he's come to train.
It looks like we've got a slightly glitchy follow cam feed there. Sorry about that.
So he's starting his dive. Nice.
That's better.
Streamlined technique. He's started off with some rapid finning. I think he's realized he was finning quickly and slowed down a little now.
Has slowed down a bit, right?
He's got on top of those nerves and calmed himself.
Got a whole troop of judges following today. I got on such an amazing community here, and judges end up paying out of their own pocket to volunteer for events quite often, so shout out to them. Sped up again.
He has, yeah, after the turn.
He's got bored.
Maybe feeling a
He's
little
got
bit
nice
of discomfort.
technique, hasn't he? Like
Yeah.
very slight knee bend just for a bit of relaxation.
Yeah, and really no movement in the upper body.
You can see his legs. He's got steel bands for quadriceps.
So he's putting in a couple of glides now. Maybe just feeling the lack of training here. As the dive reflex kicks in, beginning to feel a bit of lactic at this point in the dive.
Can we see contractions on the underwater cam?
I can't. The screen's
not
too
really.
small. So he's coming up to the 125, still looking really strong. So he's solid.
It's a longer glide there.
Yeah. So a little bit of a look up, I think, and arm pull. V really is fitting it in his legs. So yeah, it looks like the lack of training is showing in his legs, but he still has the oxygen. So just taking a pause, doing some arm pulls.
I think he'll stop at 150.
Yeah,
What do you think? And he's up.
Yeah, he's up. Looks super clean already. I don't think he's going to struggle here.
Did he touch the wall or did he come up on the wall?
I think he touched it and made a
the
turn.
end,
Yeah. It looked pretty easy from an oxygen perspective. I think, yeah, it's just you can see his legs were tired. Switching to arm pulls and a lot of gliding.
It's a lovely camera angle here. Judy with the follow cam has got the judge and Aldo. It's nice. We can actually see the decision being made.
So yeah, people might not know, but for the finning disciplines, you can use arm pulls. Most people kind of tend not to, and they're just a little bit less efficient than the big fins you have on your legs. So
right.
white card there. I think that's probably a 150, maybe a 151. But yeah, at a certain point, people just feel the lactic. They need to give their legs a break. You see them doing arm pulls. You see even some of the top pros doing it, especially if they're like DNF specialists. They like to throw some arm pulls into their dynamics. Yeah, it was a good dive. I'm sure he's going to be very happy with that. Pretty consistent with where he was yesterday.
Yeah.
Probably, I guess you'd say a bit of a better dive, since bifins is usually
a few meters harder, right?
yeah. I think most people can estimate it as kind of 10% less than their monofin dive. So to get the same distance is good. Just building confidence there. And up next we have Fu. Who today is doing dynamic, so he'll be using his monofin. He has here listed his PB at 200 meters. Again, that's a recent PB. His absolute PB is the national record at 239. A very long dive. I don't know how his his monofin training's been going. Any ideas? I mean, 200 meters, I guess, but comfortably or?
No, I mean, I've only seen him swim DNF recently, and
Yeah.
maybe he's just put the monofin on the back burner for a little bit, but he's can always come up with a surprising dive, so maybe he's been secretly training, and he'll...
Well, I've seen him do 200 in training with the monofin, and it looked like he was barely trying. Yeah.
He wasn't trying. It's so unfair, isn't it?
Yeah, he came up and was just talking straight away. So
if you ever get a chance to meet Xingqiang, I really encourage you to just have a chat with him. And he's a very calm individual, very understated, very humble, and yet does these enormous dives that really just mind-blowing.
Yeah.
And interesting to talk to as well. He's got a lot of experience and tips, and he's tried lots of different things over his time. We heard him talking about packing yesterday, and how he starts packing at less than a full breath, just to prevent packing blackouts. Essentially, was what he said in the interview. And let his body adjust, and then he packs as full as he can. It's full of little gold mines of information like that.
yeah, I remember my first comp and watching him pack for like a full 40 seconds. It was quite shocking, but I'm used to seeing it now. And as you say, he's not like just packing on top of a full lung. He's using it to fill his lung initially, and then pack on top. But yeah, in training, he barely even needs a breathe up. A lot of people need time to prepare and then time in the water. The training, he'll just get in, and you can be talking with him, and he'll be often the first diver. He takes maybe 2 minutes to get prepared, and then just does a 200-meter dive. Yeah, it's quite astonishing. I guess that comes with experience as well. Knowing that you can relax during the dive, maybe, if you're not totally relaxed at the start of the dive. I mean, I guess when your dive is like nearly 4 minutes, there's plenty of time to relax.
Well, yeah, for the first minute maybe.
Yeah. Any idea what his
some of
dive
these
time's gonna
dive
be?
times now, in the last couple of years, Julia Kozerska's dive time in Jeju, she did 250 plus meters monofin, and it was nearly 5 minutes. It
Yeah.
was almost 5-minute dive. It's just insane. And then Alexi's 136 meter constant weight dive, 133 at least, was 4.5 minutes plus.
Yeah. Yeah, I was stuck in the middle of the pool with Julia's dive. I did my dive in the middle lane. I wanted to
that's
exit
right.
the
It
pool,
was the same.
and the safeties
Same
wouldn't let me go. I was treading water after my DNF.
You had to wait for another 2.5 minutes.
Exactly. I was tired by the time I got out. Okay, so freestyle starting in a couple of minutes, I think. I don't know, did I miss the 2 minutes? Go. I think we're in.
I haven't heard it actually, but
Yeah, I did. So
1:30
1:30 to go. Yeah. He's I would say, a relatively slow diver with the monofin. Very relaxed.
rewatched his DNF dive last night, and he did increase his pace considerably on the last 30, 40 meters. So
Yeah.
it might be a slight change to his technique. We'll see if he does that today.
Yeah, he does no statics almost ever, but has a very long breath hold for the dynamics. I feel like he did maybe 2 static trainings the whole year, and that was just advanced with Chaterjee, where he was doing statics at the World Champs, so I guess he figured worth doing a couple of practices. But generally he doesn't include statics in his training, just sticks to dynamics, long dynamic dives. Generally a pretty, I would say, relatively simple sort of training schedule. It's usually a long dive followed by several 100s. Doesn't mix up too much with, CO2 work or stuff like that. Keeps it relatively simple, and then just keeps practicing all disciplines, all dynamic disciplines, so he's always in good form on all of them. So he's starting his dive now. So he's doing a double kick with a glide, quite small amplitude kicks, really coming from the hips down, not much movement in his core at all. Coming into his first turn at the 50. Yeah, steady pace, pretty slow compared to some other divers. Judges not having much trouble keeping up with him. Kind of short glides, I would say, in between the kicks, but still small amplitude kicks. Coming into the 100. It's an okay turn. Very consistent pace still. Yeah. This is approaching 150. That's not such a good turn there, a little bit wide. I'm not sure if he got the fin just kind of twisted and couldn't pull it round. But I know those sort of things don't bother him. He's very quick at putting errors behind him during a dive. Actually, it looks like he's slightly beginning to slow now. I guess really feeling a bit of lactic. Although, as I say that, he seems to have just stopped gliding. And he's doing consistent kicks now. Turning there at 200. Again, not the cleanest turn. So he's beyond his 3-month PV here. So he's picking up the pace, really picking up the pace now as he's approaching 125. So he's over 125, still going. This is a really long dive. He's coming into 145 now. Really slowing, and he's coming up to make his exit. He's got a bit of a samba, but he's got his nose clip off and he's made the sign. I think he said, "I'm okay." He's still breathing in. Still shaking, but he's got himself in a nice, secure position. Elbows up. I'm pretty sure that's going to be a white. And I think that's going to be a new national record. Yeah, that's a white card and a national record. Absolute monster dive.
Amazing. Right on the limit there.
I must be 145, 146.
That was 246 meters.
Sorry, 246, of course, not 146.
And it was white, and it's a national record, I believe. Could you check the NR for?
It is, yeah.
It is.
It is a national record.
Yeah, he was on the limit. It's the first time I saw a little bit of neck shakes just as he was finishing the dive before he even surfaced, and then he had a little bit of a samba LMC on the surface. He was conscious, but followed his coach's instructions for the surface protocol. Took him 4 or 5 seconds to get his breathing back under control, but it was, yeah, just perfectly judged, I'd say. He'll probably need a few minutes to recover. He nearly fell back into the pool just now as he stepped out. Okay, I'd better check what time I'm diving. I need to... 12:21. The time now is 11:14. I've got an hour. Okay, right, I need to go and start prepping. At the start ends, we can see Pete, who was just here commentating, is now adopting the role of coach for Tracy. She's sitting on the edge of the pool. Tracy's doing dynamic B today. And she has the current pool national record for bifins with 177 meters. Oh, sorry, she's doing dynamic monofin, which she has the national record for, 177. She did dynamic B yesterday and did a 163 meter dive. This is the first time you're watching one of our feeds. Tracy is, she's always around. She's a constant competitor. Dmitri's coming to join us in the commentary booth. No, it's not, only his hands. Yeah, take a mic. You are diving...
Hello.
Dmitri, you're diving last.
And I'm diving last.
What happened? I've never seen that. He's always the first diver.
I wanted to announce a very large number, and all the announcements for today, they completely ignored the APs, so I'm a bit disappointed.
Oh, did they?
Like on media, on Instagram and stuff.
Okay.
APs were never mentioned, so it was all for nothing.
Okay, so his AP is 199 meters.
Yeah, that's right.
That's kind of making you commit. Anything less than that will be yellow card. Dmitri doesn't like yellow cards.
I don't like yellow cards, but I also haven't done bifins in a long time, and I don't feel like I really want to compete with Xingqiang today.
No, that was a great...
Setting the bar a bit high there.
Yeah, that was a great dive.
Yeah.
He's getting closer to you now.
Oh, I see he's taking some oxygen there.
Yeah, he's having some oxygen.
Did he have a samba or something?
He was right on the edge of
edge.
hypoxia, yeah.
Okay.
He just timed it perfectly. Even before he surfaced, I could see a little bit of a tremor starting in his neck. And his arms were a bit soft as he reached up to the side of the pool, but he came up clean, had his elbows nicely supported.
Yeah, I was watching all the way from that side, so I didn't really see up close what was happening.
Took him maybe 5 or 6 seconds before he got his breathing under control. It kind of got a bit stuck with his breathing. So yeah, good idea.
Yeah, that's well, it's
Recovered
amazing
with
that
some
he
O2.
recovered just in time and came up in just the right moment.
Yeah.
It's really good.
Okay, we've got 10 seconds until Tracy's dive.
And he broke that record by like what, 15 meters, 16 meters. Yeah, quite a big jump there.
Yeah, I actually hadn't realised it was that big a jump. Yeah. Yeah, 15-meter increase. It
There goes
looked like it was
Tracy.
a slow dive as well.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, in contrast, Tracy is not diving slowly.
No, Tracy's a rocket.
She really values relaxation as well, so she has this unique ability to dive fast and stay very relaxed.
And Pete is her coach, so that's why he's taking a break from commenting.
Just passing in front of the commentary booth. It's a good vantage point here. I think this is my favourite pool for competitions.
Mm-hmm. One thing about this pool that people talk about is that your fins tend to stick to the walls.
Yeah, Peter was saying that they've got gummy walls, so
Yeah, I think the covering on the walls is like it's not
rubberized
slick
or something.
No, it's a bit matte,
okay.
so your fins don't really slip, which is
Yeah.
great for no fins. But for fins, it's like there's some kind of a suction effect there.
Yeah, Tracy felt after one of her turns, one of her fins was coming off.
Yeah, that's why there's one diver who was swimming here 2 weeks ago. She lost her fin, I think, due to that.
Okay.
And Tracy does 150 in a turn. Keeps going.
Tracy's dynamic PB is 177. She did a big dive yesterday, 163. I wonder if she's
Very
sprinting.
fast, sprinting, very fast.
Wow, I think she's gonna.
Go for it.
Make it. She's going for it. It's 175. She's passed us.
And she's doing an arm pull and coming up.
Coming up a bit slowly. I'm gonna go and have a look.
Three, no spit, goggles.
Unfortunately, I think she completed an okay protocol before she removed her goggles. She got her nose clip off, but she obviously didn't remember she hadn't taken her goggles off. So we'll see the judge's decision, but I'm going to guess that that's a red.
Seems like it.
I was saying yesterday, 9 times out of 10 she catches these sambas, but that one was just
Yeah.
a little foggy.
Tracy likes to be on the edge. Right?
Yeah. Pete was shouting at her, goggles, but I think her ears had not come back yet. Her hearing hadn't come back yet after that little spell of hypoxia.
Yeah.
Would that have been a national record distance, though? That's the question. 177. I think it looks as though it was about 177. So she may have equaled it. We'll see what the board
Don't
says.
see what. She's facing the other way, so we don't see what she's holding.
Oh no, it's Pat next. I don't say oh no because I suddenly got anxious, not because I don't want to see her dive, but it was 176, so it was 1 meter short of her national record. Oh well, okay. That makes it slightly less of a bitter pill then, doesn't it?
Exactly, yeah. She will not be too disappointed. It'll be worse if it was 178, whatever.
And protocol slip-ups, I mean, had that been a CMAS event, that would have been white.
True.
Yeah. Protocol slip-ups like that, there. I mean, to be honest, I find doing the protocol in the right order hard sitting here right now with a clear head. So when you're hypoxic, it's quite easy to forget what order you're meant to do things, especially if you're wearing multiple pieces of facial equipment, if you've got goggles and nose clip on.
True.
Is that one of the reasons that you minimize your facial equipment?
Not really. I feel like nose clip is, for dynamics, doesn't really, just a distraction, you know. I'm okay to hold the air just without it.
Hold it on your glottis.
Whereas goggles, I've experimented without goggles and I did long dives without goggles, but I find the sensations for me are just too strong sometimes, and that can be like counterproductive even.
Okay. Because it lets your dive reflex really hit hard.
Yeah, the sensations are just like very strong, very strong.
Okay, so speaking to Pat yesterday, she was obviously a little bit disappointed with her dynamic B dive. She's been training quite hard, but has been struggling with some of the mental aspects of longer dives. She did a 160 plus, which was a good dive a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
And today she has decided, I think, that she just wants to enjoy.
Right.
Have a nice dive. So whatever she does, she's just aiming to really enjoy it.
Yeah. Hopefully she gets to do that.
She's got a pink cap on though. Pink caps have worked well for her in the past.
Are we doing interviews today or not really?
I think we are, but
I think nobody's...
no one wants to come up.
Nobody wants to talk to us. I think Xingqiang is coaching Pat.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. Okay. So.
And Tracy being a bit disappointed at the moment.
Yeah. She does look a bit disappointed.
Hello, Pete.
Okay. Can I hand over to you because I've got an hour until my dive. I need to go and stretch and get chill.
Do you do a warm-up table for your dynamic?
Yeah, I'm going to do like
do?
a 45-minute CO2 table sprints and no.
Okay.
See you.
But you came up strong. I know you're okay, Anjali.
Thank you. Interview?
Yeah, interview time.
Hello, Tracy.
Hi.
So, tell us about the dive.
Dive was actually okay. I mean, I kind of know what's gonna happen. I mean, between like 150 to, 1 to 150. So it's just basically the same drill. I said I was gonna do 175. I did. Plus 2 kicks or something. But I don't know. I guess again I didn't recover well. I mean, they all said I come up like really good, and I felt like pretty good. I'm so lax with my recovery, I guess. Oh well.
Well, from a coach's perspective, it looked like that. Like,
Yeah.
you're looking pretty strong, and then very slow between deciding to end your dive and then getting to the wall.
Yeah.
And I don't know. It looked good to begin with, and then it started to deteriorate. And you could have got it, but you just forgot to take your goggles off, as I said.
Yeah.
Have you tried swimming slower?
With the monofin, I tried
Because
training.
you're quite fast.
I tried training. That's the thing. And in
Because
training it
because
works.
I find that there's always this trade-off between speed and distance and hypoxia, right? You have to balance these things.
I mean,
So I just wonder what's your experience been?
I tried training. In training, it works. It's just in comp.
But you,
I feel like
but you
I'm
don't
slowing
really
down.
get lactic, right?
No,
So-
like not even tired. Like I didn't even like I don't know if you noticed, but I stopped gliding from 150
Yeah.
because I'm like, okay, I gotta speed up. But yeah, it's just.
Have you tried underbreathing?
I normally underbreathe.
Underbreathe.
This is me underbreathing. So my contraction comes before 50, but the urge to breathe doesn't come until like late.
Mm-hmm.
Just to say, we've got Pat starting her dive. She's doing
Okay.
dynamics as well today. She's coming into the 50. She has her PB here in the last 3 months has been 140, but she obviously is a 200-meter diver with the monofin. So we'll see where she gets to today. Yesterday she had probably a disappointing dive for her. Just stopped at just with a turn of 100. So hopefully a better dive today. But Dmitri, maybe more on that point. Like, I think some people would say that if you're stopping because of O2 and you don't have lactic, maybe you should go faster. But do you think maybe that you end up burning too much oxygen if you're going quick? Because I guess there's a point at which you're going too fast. Okay,
She's up.
Stopped at 100 plus turn again. Okay.
Yeah, I think so. I think, well, it's a trade-off and you have to experiment with these things. If you don't get lactic, it sure makes a lot of sense to go faster. But then if you go faster, you're also kind of using up your oxygen faster.
Yeah.
So it's not so straightforward.
Yeah, true.
And it's not a straight line relationship, right? Because if you're going, the faster you go, like your drag gets exponentially higher, right? So,
Yes.
yeah, there's no point in going just flat out.
And I also think there's a limit to what you can reach by going fast. I think if you're like an intermediate diver and you switch to very fast swims, you'll progress fast and you'll reach like very good numbers. But at a certain point, you'll hit some limit. And the way to overcome that limit would be to, again, try to do slower swims and rely more on your breath hold. Because if you look at what you discussed with Tom, the very, very top divers, they all do these very slow, very long swims. So that seems to be the way to go. But again, but in that case, you have to really train your breath hold, your statics. Having big lungs, of course, helps a lot. So there's all these variables involved.
Yeah.
Big lump.
Yeah, thanks for the insight. Okay. So yeah, I think Pat's probably going to be disappointed with that. I think that's probably a white card if she finishes the service protocol.
Your turn. Okay, she's coming.
I'll leave Pat to you.
Okay, all right.
Oops. The cat died.
You killed it. All right, cool.
Cat is back.
So, our next
they're
diver
in the-
after Pat would be Ernie.
Sorry, they're in the blue bag next to where Tracy. Very much bag. Yeah, so next up we have Ernie Wong. Also, I think Pat got a red there. Probably just didn't bother finishing the surface protocol. Next is Ernie. He's doing dynamic bifins. Ernie has been doing a lot of diving this year, but very little pool. I think he quit his job and was just traveling the world, doing a lot of depth diving, which culminated in a competition in, I want to say September, was it?
I think around that.
Yeah, in Panglao, where he got a few national records, right?
Yeah, he got CNF
At 55 meters.
at 55 meters. He
And
got
he got-
constant weight
Yeah.
bifins
Twice, right?
twice.
At,
yes.
where was that? Like 70 something.
I think about 70 some,
73,
72,
something like that,
73.
yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, he's been doing all that, and then recently he's come back to the pool. Been training here a bit. I asked him what he was hoping for today, and he didn't really have a response. So I'm unsure what he's aiming at. And he's a very experienced diver.
He is
I
a very
don't-
strong diver. Yes.
Yeah, I don't often see him doing many long dives in training, but he can do a lot of like CO2 work.
sets.
Yeah, a lot of finning technique. So he can do like a 50, just a few seconds rest, another 50, a few seconds rest, and do a lot of those. So he sort of always has that leg strength and CO2 resilience. So see what he can do today. In fact, I've never seen him in a pool comp before. Have you?
You haven't?
No.
Not with us, I think. But I think he joined one in Panglao, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay. So that would be a 25-meter pool.
Yeah.
Here we're in a 50. So yeah, interesting to see what he does. He has his PB here at 163.
All right. This is with Tara's bifins.
Yeah. Has he got his tires on today?
Yes. He also told me about Decathlon massage gun. And
Oh, yeah?
he said it's really good. It's smaller.
Small one.
Yeah, smaller.
Yeah, I think what's the other brand?
Your one.
Yeah.
Bob and Brad.
Bob and Brad mini massage gun. For the price, I don't think you can beat it.
Yeah? How much was that?
I can't remember. A few $100s, but significantly.
As well.
Yeah, maybe too long sat in this chair. I might need it later.
And the time now is 11:34.
Yeah, so
2 minutes.
2 minutes till Ernie starts his dive. So yeah, some interesting insight there from Dmitri about the trade-off between speed and oxygen usage. I think it's an interesting point that if you get an intermediate diver and you tell them to dive faster, they can probably make some progress.
Quickly, yeah, true.
There's always that trying to balance them both, right? Are you underutilizing your lactic ability versus underutilizing your O2? If you're coming up, because you have lactic, you need to be slowing down. But if you're coming up because you run out of oxygen, I don't know, maybe you should be speeding up, but then maybe there is more to it. I think it's probably the more complicated side of the equation.
That's true. And I think maybe I need to slow down on my first 50 meters, but I was just super enjoying it. Like, it's the best part of my dive, like first 50 meters. So,
Yeah.
like, that speed is pretty okay for me to enjoy it.
So what happened with your SP then? Just didn't listen to the coach?
Actually, I thought I'd already done it, and then I realized it did not.
There's a clue that you hadn't done it, which was that I was shouting goggles at you.
Yeah. Yes. Sorry, coach.
Sorry. My bad as well. I was a bit late to start. So
30 seconds to official top.
Ernie's starting his packing now. Doesn't pack a huge amount. And he sets off. He's going at quite a pace.
He has tons of weight.
That's the tires, isn't it? That's why it's so fast. Yeah, you see Ernie's wearing a neck weight, but also a weight belt. Getting your total weight right is important, but then also getting the distribution across your body is important, so that your body kind of stays flat in the water. So you've got your buoyancy, and then you have your trim. Like if you're head up or head down, you're going to create a bigger surface area as you go through the water. You really want to be completely flat, so that you're presenting smallest surface area of the front of your body to the water. Ernie's now crossing the 75-meter mark. Still looking very consistent.
Slower kicks now at 100 touch.
Nice turn. Getting straight back into his finning. Yeah. Picking up the pace slightly, it seems, as he crosses 125. Looks like he's easily going to make the 150. Comes in for his turn. Another nice turn. Still looking good. Just a little bit on the surface, but gets back under within a couple of meters, and he's up at about, it looks like about 160 to me. Looks like a solid recovery. A little bit of a shake when he does his okay sign, but the surface protocol's done, so I don't think there was any problems with that. And he's in a rush to get his gear off.
It's quite heavy, you know. Like, you see how much weight he has.
Yeah. Okay, where have they marked that? Yeah, it looks to me about 159, maybe 160 with a white card, so it's a great dive from Ernie. It's just a few meters shy of his PB, so he should be pretty happy with that. He looks happy. Big smiles. So, good dive.
I'll leave you to interview Ernie because I am going to head and get my coffee.
Okay, thanks. So up next we have Clover, Shih. Clover, I think, has only been here in Singapore a couple of months. She's moved over from Taiwan and has a job here with Singapore Airlines, and so has started training at Fu's diving school. He's come to a few practices the last few weeks. I think he's already signed up for this comp. So great to see someone getting involved in the Singapore comp scene so soon after arriving in Singapore. Clover is doing dynamic bifins. Her PB is 75 meters. And her OT is going to be 11:45, so in about 5 minutes. She did not compete yesterday, same as Ernie, just doing the one dive this weekend. Can be quite taxing for divers to do 2 dives in a row, two days back to back, especially if you push yourself to your absolute limit on one dive. Your body can be a bit resistant to getting back there again the next day, mentally and physically. It's tiring on the muscles, but it's also tiring mentally to prepare each day and get everything ready for the comp.
Good morning.
Good morning, Ernie. How was that? We're pretty happy with that.
No,
No, not happy?
I'm never happy.
So it's pretty close to your PB, right? What was the number?
This was 159.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
And your PB got here at 163, is that right?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, pretty good dive then.
I think so.
Yeah. How was it?
Oxygen level still 99. So I'm not pushing hard enough.
Okay. I saw a little bit of a shake at the end, I think, when you were doing your okay sign.
I don't know. I have to look at the video.
Maybe just tired.
I don't know.
I mean, your everything before that was good. Yeah, your goggles and nose tip looked nice and clean, but just as you're doing the okay sign, maybe a tiny shake. But yeah, you looked like solid.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, happy with it?
I think so.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Is this the start of a pool season for you? Because I know you did a big depth season, a few depth comps. Are you going to start doing more pool comps?
Maybe, I don't know. This year there's not many left.
Maybe into next year?
Hello, Dmitri. Next year, I'm away most of the time,
Okay, more depth,
Yeah.
is it?
traveling,
Okay, all right.
enjoying life.
Comp's enjoying life, mate.
No.
All right, thanks.
All right. See you.
Okay, Clover's just got her 2-minute warning. 2 minutes to official top, rather. So yeah, at Singapore we have quite a few competitions. Most of the 4 or 5 clubs organize like 1 comp a year, as well as AAS. Apnea, wait, that was the wrong way. AAS, Apnea Association of Singapore, will have a competition normally, and then we have this round of competitions organized by UFC, Ultimate Freediving Challenge, which is mostly, I think, Fu and Patricia put these together with the help of a lot of people. We have, as you can see, a whole media crew, a lot of volunteer judges, volunteer safeties, and for the number of pool competitions we do here in Singapore, the judges give up a lot of time, as do the safeties. So it's very much appreciated by the divers. It's good to have this ability to kind of have so many comps, because people are away, they can't necessarily just target 1 comp a year if work gets in the way. Everyone here has full-time jobs as well. So with the larger number of comps, there's always a chance for people to get 1 or 2 pool competitions in a year. Although I've heard there may be fewer UFC next year, but I'll be petitioning Pat to do more of them, so we'll see how that goes. So Clover's just starting her dive now. Quite energetic start, but it's now settled down. Let's say her PB is 75, so see how she does here. I'm not sure if this is her first competition or not. Okay, a little bit wide at the turn and a little bit stuck on the surface. Just go back under. And she's come up. And she's completed the surface protocol. And this should be a white card. There's an extra face touch after taking the mask off, but I think that should be the 1 permitted touch, so it should be okay. And I make that about 65 meters. Yep, they're giving me a white card for 65 meters. I was pleased with that. So a little bit off of her PB, but that's often the way it goes in competitions, with a little bit of the competition nerves. The adrenaline gets your heart rate going a little higher. It's one of the freediving is a sport where those competition nerves don't really lead to much extra performance. Can really be a hindrance. The adrenaline might drive you to go a bit further, but at the same time it increases your heart rate, makes you burn oxygen quicker, and usually results in a shorter dive. You want to borrow mine? I'm not using it. It's 2 minutes slow, but the actual, the real time in the UK is there. So use the hour from one and the minutes from the other. Sorry about that. Just handing over my Garmin.
Am I allowed to wear this during the dive if it's on the outside of my wetsuit?
I don't believe so.
So I need to take it off?
You need to take it off, yeah. For depth competitions, they usually let you get away with it, but
Yeah, but
in
not-
pool, I don't think so. I love my Garmin, but for some unknown reason, it doesn't keep time. When I set the time, it starts to being 2 minutes slow within about 24 hours. But when I set up a second time zone, the second time zone is always correct. So I have no idea what's going on there. It can locate my GPS, it's connected to my phone, but it insists on being 2 minutes slow. It doesn't get slower, it just stays there at 2 minutes. So I have no idea what the logic is for that. But it's great for depth. If Garmin wants to, sponsor. Terrible for keeping time, great for diving. So up next, we have Rodin from here in Singapore, who dived yesterday dynamic bifins at 58 meters, which was, I think, 8 meters over his PB of 50. Today he is diving dynamic, and again it has here his PB as 50. So maybe we'll see something similar, like a 58 or a 60 meters. I'm just going to check if he is wearing a monofin. He does indeed appear to be wearing a monofin. With dynamic, you can wear a monofin or you can wear bifins. It's basically kind of a freestyle. You can do dolphin kick with a monofin, you can do dolphin kick with bifins, and you can do flutter kick with bifins, and those all count for dynamic. It's dynamic bifins where it's very specific. You have to wear bifins and you have to do a flutter kick, not allowed dolphin kick. So you see some divers will actually do dynamic with their bifins on, either because they don't have a monofin and they just want to get points in the overall competition. Because if you repeat bifins, then you'll just get a single kind of points tally for the one bifins dive. But if you to do two bifins dives, call one of them bifins and call the other one dynamic, then you'll get points for each. So if you're looking for overall competition points, or maybe you're looking for overall IDA rankings, you might do a bifins dive with flutter kick, but under a different discipline. But here, Rodin has his monofin. As we mentioned yesterday, he's quite big in the mermaid scene here in Singapore, so I'd expect to see a good-looking monofin technique for sure. And then we'll see how effective it is. His OT is 11:54, so we're about 2 or 3 minutes away from that. Quiet here now, we have pulled ourselves. It's really nice for the divers to get focused. Earlier on there was some kids swimming lessons finishing up. It's very quiet here now. It started raining. They make it a bit more hazardous for the judges running up and down by the pool. It can be quite nice for the diver just to hear the sound of the rain on the top of the surface of the pool. It's quite a relaxing noise as you're getting ready for your dive. Usually here in Singapore when it starts to rain there's a risk of lightning. And we have the lightning warning go on. So far, it's quite light rain and it doesn't look like it's a storm. So I think we should avoid any lightning warning. also not sure this pool has one, which is good and bad news. So coming up to his 30 seconds. Pat's coaching him on this one, or at least taking some photos and videos. The OT takes his last breath and starts. Okay, so there's a bit of an arm pull there as well. Rodin is doing constant finning with the monofin. Yeah. Do you want to take a seat? Interview in a sec. We'll just watch Rodin's dives first. So he's doing constant finning, no gliding. It's kind of unusual. You see most people with a monofin would kind of do a double kick and a glide or a triple kick. He's coming in now to the turn, makes the turn. So he's beyond his PB now. And he's come up there just after the 60. He looks pretty strong and gives the okay sign. I'm certain that's going to be a white card. Again, he listened to his judge there, sorry, his coach, waiting for instruction. Okay. We're joined here by Clover. Clover, how was your dive?
Well, it was pretty nice, I would say, though it's not my personal best. Could be better.
It's close though, right?
My personal best would be like 75, but it was like a year ago, and I haven't been training since then, so...
Okay.
Yes.
Is this your first competition?
First competition in Singapore, yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. How'd you find the pool?
It's quite like shallow though, because in Taiwan it was like 2 meters, so
Yeah.
you won't like engage to the differences in the depth.
Yeah,
But yeah, I would say like acceptable.
Okay, nice. Yeah, the flat pool's a lot easier with the
Yes,
coming up and coming
yes.
down. Do you close your eyes when you dive, or you keep them open?
I'm supposed to open it, but like in like first 10 to 15, I was like closing my eyes, and then I realized, oh shoot, I cannot see anything, and then it was like,
Yeah. With the uneven bottom profile, yeah, it's a
Yes,
bit more
yeah.
difficult to keep your eyes closed.
Yes.
Yeah, and sometimes it's not so relaxing. You realize that the floor's coming up to meet you.
exactly, exactly.
Okay. All right, great. I'm glad it went
Thank
well.
you.
Glad you're happy.
Yeah, thank you.
So hope you see you at some more comps next year.
Definitely will.
All right,
Thank
nice
you.
one. Thanks. So yeah, I rode in there, did get a white card, 60-meter dive, so a couple of meters longer than his bifins yesterday and 10 meters longer than his PB. So I should be happy with that. It's a little, I think probably when he looks at the replay, we'll see potentially some changes could be made, maybe to make that a little bit more relaxed. Maybe you could try a bit of gliding between the kicks. I think you'd end up with probably a longer dive time. But with the energy from a competition, the adrenaline, maybe it feels nicer just to keep finning. Gliding can feel like a bit of a struggle if you're tense. But we'll find out how he was feeling. No? Okay, Rodin has refused an interview. He says he wants to catch his breath. Maybe I will try and interview his coach, Pat, if I can grab hold of her. It's not a contractual obligation for divers to be interviewed after. Most of them are unsponsored, so it's up to them. Up next we have Soham. So Soham today is doing DNF. If you joined us yesterday, you would have seen him do dynamic bifins, where he sprinted into 100 meters and got himself an Indian national record. And I think he is looking to get a national record today as well. The current Indian national record stands at 68 meters for no fins, and Soham's PB is currently at 65 meters, so he just needs an extra 3 meters, or extra 4 meters rather, to get the national record over his PB. Personally, I find DNF is a harder discipline to PB at comps versus the other two dynamic disciplines. The adrenaline I find is even more of a hindrance for DNF. It has that kind of static element where you're gliding and doing nothing, and you're just alone with the contractions, and the nerves of the comp don't really help there, especially if you have a target in mind, like a national record. I think it gets even harder. But I don't know, what sort of a stretch that 65 meters was for him when he did it. I didn't see that dive, so potentially he had a lot more oxygen. We don't know, so we'll see. I'm quietly confident. I think he looks pretty determined to get it. Spoke to him earlier, and he was saying he's just going to, I think, try for the 75, which would be a good few meters over. I mean, ideally, maybe you just try for something like 70 meters, but the problem is you don't necessarily know where you are. Once you've made the turn, it's a long way to the 25, and that's the next marker. There is a 25 marker in the lane here. You might go to other pools where they have markers at the 15 for swimmers. Often have like a yellow dot on the blue line or a little mini T across it. You can see the markers on the lane rope where the 15 is, but in this pool I don't think there's anything underwater for the 15. So once the divers have turned, if you're very relaxed, you let your mind wander, and then you sort of come back to the present moment, it can be a little bit hard to judge like how far you've traveled in that time and where you've got to. That was a long horn, not the animal. It was just a long horn from a boat, a large container ship passing a couple hundred meters away. So yeah, as I was saying, sometimes it's a bit hard to judge where you are underwater, so I think he's just going to go for the next marker, which would be the 75. And if he looks up and sees the 75, maybe he'd come up. But again, looking up is not always a great tactic in diving either. If you look up to see where you are, it can be disappointing and can be mentally difficult. So usually best just to keep your head down and try not to think too much about the distance. So Soham has just a minute coming up now till his OT. His OT is at 12:03. I think you can add a little bit more nerves as well if you're diving for a national record rather than just diving to see what you can do. He's been in place now at the start line there for a long time, so he should have time to get himself settled. Last 20 seconds. Yeah, you want to take a seat?
Is it wet?
This one's wet, this one's dry. How was Rodin feeling after his dive? pretty happy,
Yeah,
right?
I don't know. His face was like not smiling, not really. Like it's alright. I think he was happy, but I think he expected a little bit more because when he did the mermaid swim, he did it in he did like 80. Oh right.
Yeah, sorry.
It's okay.
Did 80.
Or something
Okay.
like that, or
Oh,
75
okay.
or something like that.
So,
But
Soham's
it's
just
okay.
got underway.
Oh, who's just gone?
Soham. So I think we're looking at potentially a national record here.
Soham.
Yeah, if he gets 68 meters.
I think he's very capable of that.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah.
And he's
very-
done
'cause
65 in training.
He did 100 yesterday for dynamic.
Yeah, that was a national record.
Bifin?
Bifins, yeah.
So now is
There's the no fins.
no fins.
Yeah,
He's doing no fins.
yeah, yeah.
Ooh. Okay, then.
So his PB is 65 and he's looking for 68 today. So
Okay, it's just 3 more meters.
yeah,
But it's whether the comp feeling will.
yeah. I was saying, come feeling for no fins
Oh,
is
it
a
looks
little bit
smooth
harder.
though.
But he's looking smooth, yeah. That's nice deep turn there. So lovely kick off from the wall, right into that, straight into a kick. I think looking pretty good. It's just nice and steady. One kick, one pull, the whole journey. And that's the 65 he's passing now, so he's into PB territory.
Oh, damn.
And now he is passing national record territory.
Ooh.
So we just need a white card here.
Yep.
He's going over the
75.
75-meter marker. He's seen that. Still going, pushing a
Okay.
little bit.
Okay.
Come on,
Okay, anytime,
nice and
yep,
clean
yep,
exit.
yep, come on,
okay,
come on.
he's up.
Oh. Oh, he's just
that
right in
looks
front of
super
us.
clean.
We've got
Let's
front
do
row
the okay
seats.
sign.
Very clean.
Yes, that was super easy.
Yeah.
Wow.
Super easy.
Yeah.
Then he
was
could have done more for DNF bifins yesterday, I think.
possibly,
in that
yeah.
case.
He was taking his time over the service protocol there.
Yeah.
Just making sure he
Just
got it
chilling.
perfectly right. I was a bit nervy about the time there, but I think that's easily within 15 seconds.
It's always so awkward after
What, the waiting?
just waiting for the white card.
Yeah, no one's saying
that's so
anything.
I was didn't do it right. Nice one, Soham.
Great. That's another national record.
Good job.
That's an awesome dive. Yeah, I smashed it. I didn't see what the distance is there, but I think that's 80 meters. Oh, yeah, they're giving it 80. I'm getting really good at this, guessing the distance.
Yeah, I noticed that yesterday. It was pretty spot on.
80 meters with a white card and then a national record. 2 days, 2 national records. Smashing it.
Wow.
Wow.
I wish I was Indian.
Second passports is the way to go.
Right.
When you win the lottery, you can buy yourself a house in St. Kitts and St. Nevins, and they just give you a passport if you spend like $250,000 on a house, I think.
Wow, so
And
I have
then-
to win the lottery first, right?
You have to win the lottery first,
Okay,
yeah,
so-
so a little bit difficult. A little bit difficult. Yeah, different countries have different limits. Some places you've got to spend $1 million. So,
So funny.
do you want to talk about your dive?
Yeah, sure, why not?
Okay. How was it? What happened?
I don't know. I was like ready to change my mindset all from yesterday, and
Yeah.
I was like, okay, I'm gonna do it today. I'm gonna do it at least like 125, 150. Let's see how I feel. I could maybe even, that's the problem, right? Because I was still thinking I'm gonna do 200 meters, and I visualized 200 meters.
Yeah.
It's over. I know. What is going on? But I did visualize 125 as well.
Sometimes the visualizations are as hard to control as the actual dives.
Yeah, but I was feeling not good, and I was feeling like, Dmitri told me yesterday to just enjoy my dive and not aim for anything
Yeah.
big and just have a no contraction swim.
Yeah.
Yeah, if that's the case, I would have come up with 50
You had a contraction of 50.
ish,
Mm.
or a little bit.
That's early for you, right? I mean,
It's super
for me
early.
that's hey, congratulations again, another national record.
Thank you so much.
How was the dive?
It was really good.
Yeah.
A lot less competition jitters than yesterday, so
Yeah, great.
I was more relaxed. Yeah.
Yesterday was your first competition dive ever, right?
No, it wasn't my first dynamic. This is my third competition
Yeah.
dynamic. Yesterday was my second.
Okay,
Um,
still pretty new.
Yeah, it's pretty new and first. I'm not used to competing, so
Yeah.
even though it wasn't my first competition. I was still nervous. But yeah, not
But
that nervous.
It's
today.
good that it was
Yeah.
less today. We were both saying that DNF, like the competition nerves, can have a bigger impact. 'Cause there's a lot more about relaxing and gliding, and sometimes it can be quite tense.
Yeah.
Versus dynamic, where there's always a distraction. You look super clean there as well. I think you had more in you. Did you just you were worried about pushing too far? You'd already you got to your target, right? I think it was 75, and then you went past it.
I went past it. It was my PB as well.
Yeah. Massive PB, right? Wasn't it? Your PB was 65.
I think previous was around 65, 70.
Yeah. Extra 15 meters on that.
Yeah. Yeah, I just didn't want to risk going more. Yeah, I just wanted to be safe, I guess.
Yeah, sometimes when you're into unknown territory, it's feeling good, but you start thinking, I don't know where this might go to, so you have to come up where it's still. But you look great. I mean, super clean, really easy finish. You definitely got more next time.
Yeah, I think so. I think could have gone another 10 meters maybe. Yeah.
I think so. I
Yeah.
reckon.
Yeah.
Easy.
And your bifins as well can definitely turn and
Yeah.
do a bit more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think with the turn, there's like a mental barrier, like, oh, it's a turn, it's you're changing your rhythm, and so I think a turn is more difficult than just swimming another. If the turn wasn't there, I would have probably gone further.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. And the wall's a very easy thing to aim for. It's like,
Yeah.
well, the wall's there, and I don't have to make a decision. It's just it's made the decision for me.
Exactly.
Once you turn, then you're thinking, now what?
No, exactly, right?
Yeah.
You don't know how far you have to go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, that's great. 2 days, 2 national records. It's awesome.
Thank you.
Congrats.
Thank you so much.
All right, thanks.
Okay.
Where were we? What were you saying? How much you loved your dive? You say contractions is really early for you at 50. For a lot of people, contractions at 50 is very normal, but
Tracy
Pat
said that-
doesn't usually get them.
Tracy said that she gets her contractions at 30 meters,
Yeah.
30 meters, and then she just holds on to it all the way till wherever she comes up. But for me, usually my contractions come at 100, or I've had cases where it comes at 150, and I'm just not relaxed, I guess. I've just not been, I don't know.
You haven't been doing a lot of pool training, I would say.
No,
compared to-
actually from AAS comp, after that, it was Black Friday at Molchanov, so I was like,
work
I'm so
stress.
stressed. There's so many orders, dude.
Yeah, work stress can really take a toll on diving.
I haven't even finished it yet. I just have to go back and do some more. If you haven't gotten your order, I'm so sorry. If Alexi's listening, I'm sorry. Okay, anyways, I feel like I should have just done work and not worried about the comp and prepared so much, because it was the same result anyways.
Well, it's a learning experience.
Yeah.
I think it's always worth doing a comp, and just, even if you don't get the result you want, you can take
True.
away something from it and learn.
But if I had readjusted my plan for me to be happy with my result with just 50 meters dive, then I would probably be happier now. Would you?
I don't think it would be.
Seriously.
No.
Okay,
Yeah.
well, 100 meters. Okay, let's talk about something else.
Yeah, well, we can talk about, I think it's Rainy up next, right?
Rainy is amazing.
She
She's
is.
gonna do a good one.
She's
What's she doing?
DNF. I've never seen her dive DNF before.
Yeah, me
actually.
too, actually.
I always see her at bifins training, and she must have done it at Jeju. I just didn't see it. So her PB is 106. So I would say definitely not her preferred discipline then. 'cause
Yeah.
yesterday
because,
she did 188 as her PB at bifins, and
Okay, who knows? Maybe she will.
maybe she's gonna do it now,
Yeah,
like a 150.
Oh, no lah. Maybe.
But yeah, I mean, people usually, obviously, are less on their DNF in terms of distance than their
Yeah.
dynamic. It's usually say sort of 30% less.
So accurate at 30%.
Well, that's how we do the,
29.5.
that's how we do the points allocations, right?
Oh,
The
yeah.
points they get 130 versus dynamic.
Yes. Okay.
But for me, I have a massive gap between my DNF and bifins, and I guess similar to Rainey's.
Good gliding.
Yeah, so she started her dive, coming in to 25 meters, doing a double kick. Yeah, really nice long glide.
So slow, DNF.
Yeah. So she's doing one arm pull to 2 kicks. camera quality is not the best now that we've got it raining. You can't really see so much, so clearly through the surface of the water.
So someone said that because your muscles in your legs, they're bigger than your arms, so you're gonna be using a lot more oxygen if you're doing double kicks.
Is that right?
Someone told me that.
Someone told me I was using a lot more oxygen if I did arm pulls.
Because the muscles smaller. Oh my gosh,
Yeah.
so differing.
You got more muscles in your, well, no.
Maybe she meant for ladies. The person who told me that. She.
I don't know. Well, I put a lot more power into my arm pulls, but I don't know.
Maybe how much power.
My legs are terrible, so there's almost no oxygen burnt by my terrible kicks. Anyway, that's 75 meters.
Speeding up.
Rain.
Yeah, PB's 106. Still looking good. He's speeding up a little, but still doing the double kicks. You see a lot of divers, as they start to speed up, they will switch to the single kick.
Like Dmitri said yesterday.
Yeah. Yeah, she's definitely gliding less.
Yeah.
Still kicking the same double kick. Coming into the wall now at 100.
Oh, yes.
She's got deep into that turn, so nice kick off here.
Mm-hmm.
Really nice. So she's already over her PB. Yeah, so that's 110.
Okay, really.
Okay. Now she's going to the last little sprint. Things are beginning to deteriorate in terms of quality, so she's coming to the exit, made her way up. That's a great surface protocol, so quick. One recovery breath, and then straight to her gear before the dive reflex turned off fully. No shake there, that was fast. And she's barely out of breath, actually. I'm certain that was a white card. And I would say that is 117 or 116.
You're having this game by yourself.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. I'm winning.
Did you say 117?
I don't know. It's a white card though. It's a great dive.
That's
She
good.
speeds with that.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Massive PB again. So 2 days, 2 PBs for her. She's having a great comp. I think he read 133.
Yeah, I think he
which
said like
is-
170 actually.
I think he said 133, which is the other way.
Yeah, yeah.
So he was reading, because there's 2
Yes.
tapes by the pool, one for reading that way and one for reading that. It's not 130.
He did it's before it's 120 it's 113.
113. I think he read the other tape.
Yeah.
Because it would be 130 that way. 25, 30. So it's 117.
What was it?
Sorry.
Who?
Sorry,
Tom.
17.
Tom. Here you go.
Okay. So up next we have Great Britain's Tom Way. If you heard us at the top of the program, you heard us talking about how Tom does a lot of statics. Are you joining in the commentary?
Yes, finally.
Actually, I haven't. Did you get interviewed for your dive yet? Did Tom interview
yet.
you? Okay, we'll have to do that as well. How was your dive?
Yeah, it was great.
Or like a couple of hours ago
It's
now,
my
was it?
PB.
Is it your PB?
It's my PB, yes.
Oh wow.
I wasn't expecting to.
Oh yeah, of course.
PB,
A national
yes,
record, yeah.
At the
I
end
forget.
of the year.
Yeah, I had
I
to.
was-
When you finished, I had to go run down, so I didn't get to celebrate. But that was a massive dive, wasn't it? 145
45.
meters.
Yes.
Unbelievable. So
Yeah, I wasn't expecting to have PB or national record for this dive.
yeah. Had you
So-
trained for it, or
No, I didn't touch my monofin since Jeju.
well rested? Well rested then.
Yeah, well rested. Yeah,
Okay.
I like the fresh feeling. So
Yeah.
it's like long time never touched. Okay, hello, good friend.
Yeah.
Again, yeah. So I
Nice.
like that kind of feeling.
So that just helps to help maybe take your mind off the dive, maybe just like feel that thing,
Yeah.
like feel your way through it.
Yeah, correct.
Yeah. No expectations, right?
No expectations, but I did have some negative thoughts throughout the dive. I mean, after 100 meters, I'm thinking like, okay, I want to give up at 150. So
Okay.
yeah, so when I touched 150, so I said, okay, maybe not. I just give up at 200 meters.
Yeah.
So when I touched 200, okay, it's the last dive of the year. Hey, just go. So I just go.
Okay.
Yeah, but I did come up with, samba.
Yeah. Yeah, decent samba, but you recovered well.
Yeah, I recovered well. Yeah.
Yeah. Who was coaching you?
I think Ernaldo.
Okay. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, he did a good job. Yeah, that's an amazing dive. It's absolutely huge. Really setting the bar a lot higher now for the national record. So what's next? 250?
Maybe. I think this time I was really reaching to my limits.
Yeah.
In both hypoxia and lactic
Yeah.
perspective.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I remember on that last 50, you could sort of see that the lactic, see where you changed your rhythm a little bit. Yeah, that's reaching.
I was a bit of overpacked this time, so I was actually floating.
Okay.
Yeah, so my lactic actually come up early.
But do you notice that changing through the dive? Because over a 250 meter dive, you're going to get CO2 just dissolving in your muscles, and you start to get heavier.
Yes, but this time was much more earlier, and I'm not sure. Maybe it's just a long time I didn't use monofin. But I did feel floating throughout the dive.
Imagine what you could do if you trained.
Maybe it'd be the same,
Yeah.
Because if I train monofin, a lot of times it could be okay. I'm tired of training monofin.
Yeah. Physically or mentally or both?
Both.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you've still been diving, right? So you're still training the dive reflex and your and all that sort of stuff. So yeah, it's excellent. Congrats.
Thank you.
Yeah, amazing. Really amazing to see. He doesn't train it so much.
But he still did well in Jeju competition.
Yeah,
He did something like 125 meters or 6 meters.
Yeah, he PB'd at the World Championships, which is an achievement in itself, right? With all the big,
I think
big
he still
Danos.
can do more.
Yeah, for sure. I think maybe he needs to slow down. He has such a huge breath hold, and the lactic's his problem.
Yeah.
So potentially he could try, different speeds. He was saying earlier that he might hyperventilate before the dive. He has a theory.
Okay.
He has a theory
Okay.
that will buffer his lactic.
Okay, so he
He
starts.
started.
Yeah. So it looks quite relaxed.
It does, yeah. A little bit rolling of the shoulders, and he's putting some glides in. He has the Molchanov's hyperfin. But he's got himself into a nice arrow position,
Okay.
nice
Just kicking
streamline
like
kicks, and
5-6 times
yeah, and then
with the
putting it-
glide. Maybe more times.
Yeah, I wonder if he's thought about maybe doing some arm pulls as well. See some of the other divers when they get lactic, maybe doing some arm pulls, but I don't know if Tom does that. So he turns
Okay.
at 100. Nice, smooth,
turn.
relaxed turn. Got nicely deep into that turn, so he got a good kick off. I mean, even though he doesn't have a lot of experience with the bifins, and even if he was potentially doing some breath work, he has so much experience with breath holds
Yes.
that he'll know exactly what state he's in. He'll know exactly how his hypoxia is
Yeah.
developing, or if he's anywhere near it.
That's how you can help
Oh, and
you.
he's
Okay,
called that
he's up.
early. So he's come up. Not his day for some reason.
I think it's not easy to do the competition by himself as well as managing the whole team, media team.
Yes, indeed. He's
There are a
told
lot
me
of stuff, complicated stuff to be arranged
Yeah.
and set up.
yeah, he's been responsible for all the cameras and the media team here,
Yeah.
doing all the work behind the scenes. So I'm not sure he had as much time as he'd like to prepare for his dive. So I think that's an 82 meter dive, maybe 83. So I think he'll be
Okay.
disappointed, but yeah, he can definitely do more. Just not his day today.
Yeah.
We'll have a chat with him once he gets over. Or maybe the hyperventilating didn't work.
Maybe.
As I mentioned
Okay.
at the
Oh,
top of
yeah,
the program.
He's trying to experiment.
Yeah, it's for dynamics, it's really not recommended to hyperventilate. reduces the
Yeah.
oxygen that you have available, and can lead to quick and sudden blackouts, and also just reduces your performance.
Exactly.
There's less oxygen available to your brain
To your
and,
brain, yeah.
and muscles.
Exactly.
You know. So generally, the top divers will underbreathe. Do you underbreathe?
Yes, I am.
Yeah. So that's breathing less than normal, more shallow. So actually, you start to even feel an urge to breathe fully before you start your dive. Some divers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really like so gentle until you can't see and breathe in.
Yeah. Which kind of makes your urge to breathe come earlier than if you were to breathe normally,
Yeah.
but conserves oxygen. It makes your dive reflex kick in earlier,
Yes.
and it reduces the Bohr effect. Is the opposite, so that you have more CO2 in your blood, and which allows you to deliver more oxygen to your brain and
To
muscles.
the brain and muscle, yes.
Yeah, it's not. That's also not advised for beginners, I would say, because it makes the dive quite
Correct.
uncomfortable.
Yeah. So sometimes I give divers a recommendation to do underbreathe, but I just realized they can't do it because of the urge to breathe, urge to breathe.
Yeah.
So
It's
yeah.
like doing a warm-up versus no warm-up dive, right? If you do the warm-up dive,
Yeah.
it make your long dive more comfortable.
Comfortable,
And as an intermediate or beginner diver, that might be the most important thing, right? The comfort. But as
Yeah.
you get more advanced, you're more likely to do no warm-up dives, which are less comfortable. But as you develop that kind of resistance to the discomfort, it doesn't bother you so much, and therefore it's not your limiting factor, and therefore you perform better. Right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's all depend on the individual and the different stage of your freediving journey.
Yeah.
So you may use different strategy.
Exactly. It depends what your limiting factor is, right?
Yes.
As a beginner, usually the relaxation is your limiting factor.
Yeah.
You're coming up not necessarily because you're out of oxygen. You're coming up because things are just getting too uncomfortable. And as you develop, you can kind of get over the discomfort, and you're really dealing with the oxygen consumption.
Yeah. Yeah. So now we have the last diver.
We have the last
Dmitri.
diver, yeah, Dmitri, who is doing dynamic
I
bifins.
think, yeah.
So yesterday you would have seen him do his DNF of 182 meters.
Yeah, it was a very long dive.
Yeah.
50 meter pool, 182.
Yeah. And
So
then
let's see how it goes for today.
today he's on his dynamic bifins.
His PB was
230 is here, but that must be his recent PB.
yeah, that was his
Because
recent
this must
PB.
be his national record at
Correct.
261. He holds, I think, all the national records in
in
Estonia. But in the last 3 months, he hasn't done more than 230. So we'll see where he gets to today. I expect he'll be somewhere in the sort of 230 to 250 kind of range. Dimitri's sort of been steadily training. I don't think he's been trying too hard recently. Not really been
Yeah.
super focused on pool, but I mean, he's always out training.
Okay, Tom is back.
Tom. Okay, Tom's going to join us for a chat in a minute.
Okay.
We'll find out what happened. Yeah, so Dimitri's dive is at 2:30, so he's got 3 minutes till his OT.
Is there anyone coaching him?
I think he said he didn't need a coach, but he's said that before, and things haven't worked out the best. So
Maybe I can coach him.
okay, it's probably best. Yeah. Yeah, so coaches are important in IDA competitions where they can give instructions to the athlete on surfacing. In an IDA competition, I should have done this at the top, but then most other commentators spend loads of time talking about surface protocols, don't they? I haven't touched on it. I'll get back to it.
Surface protocols.
So, how was your dive, Tom? Not what you're looking for?
Just absolutely horrible. Like I did my warm ups.
Yeah.
And did my warm ups.
Static warm-ups or dynamic warm-ups?
Did some dynamic warm ups. Just really gentle, just feeling the water.
Yeah.
And I did 50 meters and it felt horrible.
Okay.
I already had urge to breathe.
Okay.
Then your watch started telling me my heart rate, which was like 110.
Fun.
Yeah. and then I did a 75, really relaxed, and that felt horrible as well. So, yeah, by 40 meters, I was already like thinking, I'm going to have a contraction. And that doesn't happen to me until I get to about 100 usually.
Wow. Okay.
So, I don't know. I think I'm actually falling a bit ill. It's a
Yeah.
shame. I didn't hyperventilate as much as I wanted.
Okay.
Did you tell me at 3 minutes? I didn't hear.
Yeah, that was my fault. I counted wrongly. Your OT was 21, right? So I like 21, 20, 19. Okay, 19, I'll let him know.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Coaching errors. All right.
Yeah, because I'd
Sorry.
intended to do 3, but I breathed harder anyway. It didn't matter. Didn't make any difference. So, yeah.
I find early contractions and very stressful dives are sometimes a sign of me getting ill. I've had that in training. I just had the worst training session ever, and I don't know why. And then the next day, I'm sick.
Yeah, well, I woke up in the middle of the night with an earache, and so I put drops in my ear, and then I woke up this morning with a cold. So I think
it's
I'm
probably that.
And then I felt really hot this morning. So yeah, I think I'm probably getting a bit sick. But I mean, there's no reason. I didn't stop because for any really good reason, except that I knew I wasn't going to meet my target, which was kind of my secret target was 150. So
Okay.
yeah, I just like feeling that bad for that long, I couldn't face it, so I stopped.
Fair enough. Yeah. Okay, so Dmitri is just starting his dive here.
Yeah, right. Let's hope that he finishes on a good note.
Sure, he will.
The colours in the pool look beautiful today, even with the overcast light, right?
I mean,
Yeah.
I think we both had secret targets. Like, I was thinking of a much higher target than I think I'm actually capable of right now.
Yeah.
Right? When you told me 150 yesterday, I was like, I'm not sure, but if it was me, that's not a good idea.
Yeah.
But I didn't check myself. But anyway.
The trick is keeping it secret from yourself. That's the good bit. And then you can't get stressed by it if you keep it secret from yourself.
I wonder if Dmitri and Xingqiang have like secret
I
goals.
honestly, I don't think they do by that point because
Dmitri doesn't
He
have
just, like,
secret or anything. He
secret.
just
Yeah.
swims, right? He just,
but also they're so consistent and you can't accidentally do more than 250. Do you know what I mean?
What did Dmitri say yesterday?
no.
About like just doing it, even if you feel like shit.
Yeah,
Don't
just
do it.
he just swims, right? He swims until he can't swim anymore.
Like,
He
even
can't
if
swim
it feels
anymore.
like
He's
shit, you'll just swim.
just got that perfect competition mentality.
Yeah,
So
that sets him apart.
he's coming into 75 now, so pretty early in for his dive, but just nice steady pace, putting in a little glide here and there.
Yeah, we can just.
Props to Judith on the underwater cam. She's managing to keep him in frame as he swims past. Very nice.
Yeah, so he does a very regular a few kicks plus a glide. He tries to get me to do that, and I refuse because I hate it.
Why?
Why do I hate it, or why does he make me do it?
Oh, why do you hate it? That's nice.
I don't like it. I don't like the acceleration after the down.
Oh, he's sped up a lot, hasn't he? No?
Yeah, he did change.
Just there was a
his
little burst of
pattern.
speed there.
As he said yesterday as well, right? He was going to change his pattern.
Yeah. I think he's just doing it to confuse us. He's like doing 2 kicks in a glide, then 5 kicks in a glide, then 9 kicks in a glide. He's just playing with us.
I mean, the first 150 meters must be quite boring for him. So much further to go.
He has to do shooting for a long time.
Yeah. So he's turned at 150. So going into the 175 now already.
And then he's going to hit 200 for sure.
Yeah. No
Well,
doubt.
he's declared 199, so he kind of has to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wanted to go last today, obviously.
Your AP is closer to your RP, your realized performance. That means something as compared to if it was further, no?
Only for rankings, I think.
If someone does the same.
Yeah,
dance,
that's right. Yeah,
Yeah,
if someone
so-
does the same distance, if you've declared a higher. Wow, that was a real sprint there again, wasn't it? It's like having these real fast bursts and then slow bursts.
So it's 225 now, really getting towards the business end of the dive.
And
He's
he's
still
not
pretty
competing
consistent.
amongst us, He's competing amongst like he's third in the world, no?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's trying to increase his.
Overall world ranking.
Yeah.
And then you're right, yeah, that's where the
That's where it
AP comes in. We'll
Like,
get
I
into
was
that.
thinking about, oh,
And he's come up at 250.
249, I think. I think his airways were out before he touched the pool.
Easy service protocol there. He doesn't wear a nose clip, right? So it's just the goggles he has to pull up.
Yeah.
So whip them off quickly and got his OK sign in.
He always does his service protocol very, very quickly. It's kind of almost before the hypoxias.
Got time to kick in.
Got time to like
you static
kick
guys,
in.
right?
Yeah.
Just,
yeah.
oh, okay, and then
do it straight away.
Then have your
Muscle control. Yeah.
That's the advantage of not having a nose clip. You can just whip the goggles off quickly, get your OK sign done before any shakes would develop. Yeah, either a 149 or a 249 or a 250. Yeah, so as Pat was saying, if you announce, if you do the same distance as someone else, either your national white card there, yeah, really happy with that.
That's not his PB though, is it?
I
For
don't think so,
bifins?
no, because he's had 261 as the national record. So,
Yeah.
but I think it's a big PB recently. He's only at
Yeah.
230,
Yeah.
probably since Jeju. Yeah, if you
Everyone's recovering from Jeju.
yeah, it takes its toll. If you announce a big number, no wait, how is it? If you have the same performance as someone else, either in your national or world category, but you're AP'd higher, then you'll get a higher ranking, even though you'll get the same points. So that's one reason why athletes might announce a larger AP in the pool. Most people just announce an AP because they want to go first or last.
249.
249, yeah. So his head just came up just before he touched the wall.
Yeah.
And it's where your head surfaces,
Airway.
yeah, where your airway surfaces.
Oh, I wanted to say, the sticky walls,
Pretty sticky.
they're not just a bit sticky. They
Really?
actually do, as Tracy was saying yesterday, they do suck your...
Yeah.
Suction.
It feels like that you're going to not come off the wall.
So yesterday I did like a Katerina turn because I knew just starting my dive I was like.
Yeah. They actually slow you down. You kick off and then you feel the deceleration as you
Yeah.
get pulled off these walls. I don't know what
Yeah.
they made them out of. Like
I think
Velcro.
that these shiny fins actually made it worse. I think they were kind of even stickier on the rubberized surface, whatever it was.
Tom, you got a yellow for yours. You got a yellow for yours. What was
Yeah.
that for?
I was under AP. I declared
Ah.
101, which...
Okay.
Well, because you're also helping out with media and you wanted people a
Yeah,
bit
there was a
later
couple of
on.
reasons for that. I wanted to force myself to at least do the turn because that's always a psychological barrier.
Yep.
But I felt so bad so early that I didn't even really get to the point where I was...
Yeah, you're also under the weather.
Yeah.
In my commentary, I said the weather would be nice for the divers. So
Oh,
you can't contradict me now.
yeah. Okay. Yeah, it's actually quite nice. The water is nice. But
Hey, while Dimitri's waiting to come, can we just plug our event? So there's no static at the UFC 7,
yeah.
but we are going to be having a static comp on December 16th, and it's going to be a bit of a special comp. It's going to be on a rooftop in Singapore. We found a kind of a funky looking pool. So there's going to be an IDA and Ultimate Static League USL comp held there throughout the morning, and then at 1 p.m. we are going to go under the pool downstairs to a function room, and we're going to have a kind of a party, and we'll tell you a little bit about that. Tell you a little more about that after we've spoken to Dmitri, who's just arriving. Still looking quite happy.
Hello.
Hey, talk us through that.
Well, it was all in your fins, I think.
Yeah, they're good fins, aren't they?
Magic special fins.
Yeah, Dmitri was wearing my Taras. Amazing.
Yeah,
dive.
so interesting dive. So I haven't done a long dive, longer than 200 since Jeju. So I had no idea what I was capable of with bifins. I knew I could do 200 probably. But bigger than that, had no clue. I thought if it was going to be good, I'll do 225, something like that, maybe a few more kicks. But I think at 225, it's just like, whatever, just keep going.
Yeah.
Other than that, like I had no intention to do a very long dive. It just so happened.
Your form like barely changed, like in that 200 to 250.
It looked like
Yeah.
same thinning.
Yeah, that was another thing. I kind of usually I go very fast, but maybe since I haven't been training bifins that much, I think this one felt relatively slow for me, which in the end I think turned out to be a good thing because I saved energy, I saved my legs for the last 50. Hypoxia didn't come as soon, so I think that being slow in this case paid off.
Nice. Yeah. And 1 meter short of the 150.
Yeah, that was so disappointing. I'm pretty sure I touched a 50, but
Yeah,
I did
well,
not.
We'll see the replay. None of us thought you did, so
Okay.
sorry.
Okay, sorry about that. Yeah.
And what, you announced 199, and was that just because you wanted to go last? Or
Yeah, I wanted to go. Well, I just wanted some extra pressure on myself, maybe.
Okay.
Because I always announce like 1 meter or like 2 meters, whatever.
Yeah.
I wanted to feel what it would be like to go last and announce something really big. Well, I'm pretty sure I could do 200 still, like, no matter how bad it feels. So I think 199 was like a large but still relatively conservative number.
Yeah, I think it makes a difference actually going first or last in the comp, like having to watch all the other divers.
I mean, yesterday I
Hang out all day.
went first. The thing I like about going first is that you get to see other people, like you said, and maybe pay more attention to them. Whereas if you go last, you sort of like, by the end, you just focus on yourself. You don't see what other people are doing, and
Yeah, today, like, mostly white cards, no blackouts as well, so at least that's nice when you're watching. Sometimes that can put you off a bit if you're going last. But yeah, congrats.
Thank you
dive.
so much.
Yeah.
It's also a season's best.
Excellent. Good way to round out the year and the competition.
Yeah,
Okay.
very happy.
All right, thank you very much. Here you go.
And Dmitri, so currently you're number 3 in the world for pool.
Yeah.
If I was going to ask you one question, what does it take to get into that position? What would your response be?
Do I take it or?
No. Okay, it was a trick question because if you want to know the answer to that question, you should come and join us on December the 16th, where Dmitri will be part of a panel discussion with a number of the region's top athletes, and he'll be revealing the answer to that. What do you need to do to become number 3 in the world?
I have 2 weeks to think about it. And
Yeah, you've now got.
And you can't all borrow my bifins, so it can't be that.
It's probably not Pete's bifins. Actually, well, do you mind if I use them for training later? It's a joke.
Right.
Yeah, but seriously, go to Get Ecstatic on Instagram. You will see a link to sign up. We're going to have a bunch of speakers. You'll be able to watch a static comp. There'll be some party food. There'll be some music, some freediving videos. You'll get to mingle.
is it going to be live or is it going to be recorded?
What, the conference part of it?
Yeah.
No, you need to be there. So, yeah.
Well, we can put it on YouTube after the fact.
Yeah. Okay, and I guess to wrap up, we ought to thank our sponsors.
Yep. Our sponsor.
Freedive XQ.
Yeah.
And Xingqiang is just coming to join us. Maybe Jamin can switch back so we can just have a few words from Xingqiang. Xingqiang has organised all of the Ultimate Freediving Challenge competitions. Over to you.
Thank you. Yeah, I just want to have this opportunity to thanks everyone for the volunteers, safety, medics, and media team especially. They've done a great job, as well as the judges. And also, it's been an amazing year of 2023. We have a lot of PVs, national records for UFC, and we have gone very well the competition so far. And also would like to thanks for the sponsors Setma, Best Dive, Urban Flow, and Avenue Call. I don't see Avenue Call. Okay, Avenue Call. Okay. Did I miss anything? Oh, Friendzo. Later we're going to have Friendzo Pongjos as prizes. Okay, also, congrats to all the national record PBs and white cards. Thanks, everyone.
Thanks very much. All right. Anyone got anything else, or we'll close the broadcast?
Yes, let's close it.
All right.
Thank
Thanks,
you for
guys.
joining us.
See you next time.